mean, I'd like to
Stop,
go
please.
second to last. That's good.
Second to last. All right then. I
Which-
guess it's Jake and.
Yes, you get the double
Azureus.
threat as we do everything together.
Yeah.
All right then. Can I just I'll put you.
Well, technically our scene will start off in the new section of Avernus. Talengard.
Go over there.
Prepare for some trying to be dramatic reading. We're going to fail horribly.
Yep.
Yes, red. Standing a throne of blackened rock adorned with spikes, the lord of the fourth circle, Navarus, looking over the screaming dominion that was once Talengard. By his side, a towering devil, but at his side, a pair of creatures that perhaps, well, something lesser, now stand proud with new plans.
The first is a hulking suit of black armor with nothing but hellfire within, his back with great black wings. The figure is standing tall and proud and speaks with a booming voice that makes mortal men tremble, surrounded by an aura of decay that withers anything within reach to a shriveled husk. This figure carries the great blade of terror, Hellbrand, which glows with the fires of the deepest pits of hell.
The other figure, now dressed in fine black and red. A figure that was once clearly human, but now slightly off. His form almost looking at a perfection of a man. This was not a being of perfection, however, but a profane allure, with an aura of trust and wisdom. Wings of blackish hellfire, occasionally bursting from his form, with his tail reefed in flame, both hiding almost as if you imagined it. They were never there. The eyes of this figure were the most giving, however, alluring like gemstones, but burning like a fire.
These figures were conversing with the Lord of the Fourth Circle and other devils such as Taodore and Zerebos, joining in council over the circle of hellfire formed in the cathedral's upper chambers. Each devil sharing their thoughts as they put forward a plan, for this was only the start, and greater plans were required if we were to rule true.
Azureus, who had ascended to new heights, was not done with his schemes. He destroyed one set of nobility that dared to steal what he deserved. It only be right he tried to find a way to continue this. Through magic, study, and communion, Azureus took to deep study, now of the inner sea, for hell's assault must continue.
Meanwhile, Markas, who had sought to escape the powers of light, had succeeded, and now the bitter taste of hell promised more power. Soon, leaving the grounds of the cathedral to conquer the remnants of Talengard and the Telerian people. Together, the remaining forces of the Whispering Lords to his side. Firstly, Mallory, the fat imp with the face of the gluttoned man, weak but a good servant. Timian, who had risen from goodly squire to vampire to Black Legion devil, whose image was similar but lesser to Markas himself. And finally, to form Markas' new army, a commander to help lead, Eisenmark, whose skill at arms followed him even to hell.
Time passed, but soon in a distant land of the inner sea, the Grand Prince, Stavian III, sat looking at his court. Guards bursting in with an old man in chains, who put before the mighty ruler. The man simply bowed in his rotten brown cloak, quickly asking for forgiveness and offering eternal loyalty to the crown in return. To all surprise, the Grand Prince approved of this, and allowed him to stay in the court, at least for some time.
The only sound is that of clashing blades and battle cries as Markas is locked in a duel to the death with an enormous bearded devil, blades flying so quickly that the only sight of them is flashes of steel and the ringing of contact. When suddenly, Markas lands a blow on his opponent's shoulder, causing him to stagger, which opens up countless opportunities for Markas to rain down blow after blow on his defeated foe. He turns and lays eyes on the prize, a great legion of hell's finest devilish soldiers now under his command, bowing in unison.
Meanwhile, in the mortal realm, the old man dressed in a fine vestment, similar to that of a scholar, as he stood in the court of the Grand Prince, him clearly taking the words to heart. And as all the wide words of the Grand Prince, helping him with his bureaucracy, going and playing the strings of the senators, Taodore growing to new strengths under the prince's great wisdom, the strange hooded figure seemingly only happy to serve in return for his life.
Markas is seen standing next to Nabrus, both of them reveling in newfound power. Looking down on the floor is seen the crushed, ruined body of a cloaked, shadowy figure writhed in tendrils, with Hellbrand dripping blood. Any who know about devils would know this was Barbados, lord of the first hell, and now Nabrus has taken his place, with Markas following in his footsteps. The gates of hell have a new keeper.
The mortal realm. The Grand Prince, now older and frail, sickly of disease, or the apothecary unable to save his life. It was a shame to see. While this happened, letters flew by ravens to the most distant lands of Taodore. And once again the old man entered and went aside the Grand Prince, and he asked for one wish, if Taodore becomes strong. The old man gave a happy smile and leaving the dead king in peace, vanishing to embers as he leaves the chamber. Taodore's only heir, Princess Euphora, now attempting to gain control, despite her lack to inherit. The oddly familiar scent of war was the only answer on the horizon.
Distantly on the Great Plains, where once a town named Farhold stood, the legions of hell gathered before the great keep on the mount. Before the keep, a great portal is being built, large enough to transfer thousands of soldiers to lands beyond, soldiers that are waiting for the perfect time to strike.
In the mortal realm, war was at its peak. The great noble house of Uthrin against the Princess Euphoria, both sides wanting the crown of Taodore. It looked like a war that may have taken longer than it did. However, the princess received a strange white raven carrying a dusty scroll, with an offer for aid, at a price of course. The princess stubbornly refused to answer the summons. However, this did not faze the alluring devil who watched through a pool of hellfire, but her decision was irrelevant.
The portal gate opens before the unholy host. A small, peaceful village lies on the other side, the church bell ringing its noonday tones. But as the horde of devils pours forth from the portal, the bells continue ringing, an alarm that will make no difference. And so it was with so many towns in Taodore. The portal opens, the devils march forth, and a burnt village is left behind. The war was turning quickly against the princess, who refused these aids.
The war was soon lost, and the old man, dressed in noble robes, helped rebuild Taodore once again, now under the rule of Grand Prince Caldon, first of House Ulfrin, who was coronated shortly after the war. This Grand Prince was young and needed guidance from the previous Grand Prince's court. Guidance this old man was just happy to give, as time continued forward year by year, eventually leading to his son, a strong lad with far more strength and an air of leadership more than most, almost as if he was specially gifted in some way. Gifted to rule. He was left under the tutorage of the old man, who, with his wisdom, had advised the great princes before. It was clearly the best option.
And soon a new bodyguard for this son was hired to court, a man in strong black armor, loyal to the crown and little more. Not a soul questioned his loyalty after a troop of bandits charged at the walls of Opara, almost overwhelming until he came along and protected the Grand Prince's caravan. Though some questioned the motive of such a suicidal attack, none could doubt the skill and loyalty of this new guard. Rumors quickly spread of his skill, heritage, and employment, although he never left his post to any offers. All gave way to his entry, and guards obeyed his word to the letter with undying obedience and loyalty. After all, he was the heir's royal protector, and he was totally not of Empire, boy.
The Grand Prince died of his own magic going awry, leaving his young son to take the throne upon reaching the age 15. He had no heirs, no pretenders, but an ambitious plan ahead of him, soon meeting with a group of Chalaxian nobles from the noble house of Thrun, with his bodyguard and the sagely old man mentor. Armies soon to be raised for war was once again on the horizon.
Westward toward Andorran armies charged forward, the young prince and his advisors followed by mercenaries in the silent obedience of many noble houses. Soon to cross through the city of Casimir with not only the army, but quickly a gate of devils that joined the fray. Soon breaking the siege, the young prince continued to the capital, Almus, and resistance was met, but the war was soon lost. The united forces of Cheliax and Taodore, plus an army of Hell's soldiers, laid waste to the city with brutal carnage. Many souls lost, but that did not matter. Andorran was defeated.
Standing atop the wreckage of Almus, the once great capital of Andorran, stood the young prince and a young Chalaxian maiden joined by the hand. By their sides, not a Chelaxian or Taodore flag, but instead one of nations united, with the glimmers of hellish war in the eyes of the new monarchs. In the background, loyally waiting their liege's orders, the royal protector and the sagely old man stood with a long contract, a drop of blood falling from it, reminding them in their hearts of Desda, a devil they may have once known. But it did not matter, for they were the real victors here. Though these two individuals could not wait to waver because
There's no rest for the wicked. That's it.
So, was it Desda or...
no.
No.
Oh.
We remember Desda though. He was a good devil.
I remember Desda. I named the son after him.
It's like, it's like on the back of the contract, like dedication for Desda.
It most certainly may have had. Yes,
So-
we merged Chiliax and Taodore together.
So, was that what Vandemir wanted to tell Cash? Did you kill Vandemir? Annoying half-elf, anyone?
He probably died, probably.
That was my informer! Guys.
I mean, everyone dies eventually,
They really did.
except us, I suppose.
But yes, as you see on the map, the united Chiliax and Taodore over the lands of Andoran, as named by Jake,
Did you turn
has formed.
Did you turn all that into hell as well?
No,
No, it's not all hell, but we own it basically.
it's owned by Hell's forces at this point, basically.
Yeah.
But it's not in hell.
Not yet.
No, not physically.
But war is still on the horizon.
Yeah.
Well,
Looking south towards Kadira.
You stay out of Catapish.
Oh, don't worry, Catfish is a distance away for now.
You know, for now.
Yes, we were slightly ambitious.
You don't say. Well, if it comes to that, maybe Cash will find Sakurai's and the others.
And hey, yeah, there we go. These two places are also technically under Chiliax's control.
Oh yes. Hang on, I'll do a
Nidal,
different,
huh?
Yeah, Nidal and Isgar, they are vassals of Chiliax, and Chiliax is now us.
Oops.
Suddenly a new great power has risen and consolidated, and their neighbors are quivering. For good reason.
I talked with, Cash talked with Vandemir. Told me about some stuff. She
Manikai, could you kick me from the server?
I sure
Okay.
can.
You already DC'd.
Don't kick me
There you
now.
go.
Yes. We thought that was decently dramatic, what we did together.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of changes have been made in both Hell and in Galorian.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought I traveled far enough away, but apparently not.
You can never be too far from Hell.
It's a problem with these crazy hell people.
Mm-hmm.
It always catches up.
Yeah.
Eventually.
That's fine, you've got a few hundred years left.
Cash was eternal. It's eternal.
I do like the fact that you had Mallory the Imp.
Mm-hmm.
That's
A loyal servant.
Mm-hmm. So I have a question for Jake. It might be the most well-guarded secret of the entire campaign, actually. Tell us about the damn keep you spent like years building and no one of us ever saw.
If we have the camera
It's
locked
just
on.
a keep.
Okay.
I mean, it's a keep. It's cool. It's a nice vampire keep. Like it's fucking awesome.
I spent ages editing this picture to get it to actually
It's
be.
a keep in hell.
Yeah.
Who
It's
is this
just
dude?
a castle. Castles are expensive.
That's the old king of Taodore.
who we overthrew.
Looks nice, doesn't he?
He kind of,
Placing.
he kind of looks like the Duke of Gastenhall. So I was like, very short-reigned king.
He was a short-reigned king.
Mm-hmm.
So is it actually Markas and Azureus that rules this new Shalaxian Empire?
Not
by
in name.
Not by name, but the power is basically ours.
Do you still look like yourself?
I mean,
We gave basic descriptions. Azureus looks like himself, but that's because, you know, he's a master of disguise. His true form is almost never seen.
It has been asked in the chat what happened to Sakharoth.
Fire Axe, I imagine he's
I mean, if he was in Talonguard, then he's the devil, probably.
He's probably part of Jake's army, probably one of the main commanders.
Yeah, that is exactly right. He certainly did have the right he had power enough to not be turned into a big maggot, and he certainly also had the right ideals behind him and the right fervor and faith to reach the level of devil kind. Although much weaker, of course, and of course bound to his masters forever. As it happened with Mallory, who got the very lowest kind of devil kind over Lemure. Yeah.
There was no rest for the wicked, and we certainly did not sit around.
Yeah. Yeah.
So unless there are any more questions by chat or from the party.
More might come up later, but now we could look onto sheep.
Could, in a
Your second
metaphorical
class?
sense.